Today, I want to analyze a character from one of my favorite games, Ralsei from Deltarune. While replaying the game recently, I realized something pretty interesting, no pun intended. Ralsei has similar traits to someone who has religious scrupulosity OCD, more commonly referred to as religious OCD. Before I get into this video, I want to preface a few things. 1. I am not trying to criticize any religions. I believe that religion is important to a lot of people. 2. I am not a psychologist, so I might be wrong about some things in the video revolving around OCD and religious OCD. So it's important not to view my evidence as doctrine. You should actually check with real professionals. And if you somehow are a professional in this field, first, congrats! Second, please correct any of the mistakes I made in this video in the comments. Finally, symptoms mentioned in this video will be general symptoms of religious OCD. Not everyone who has religious OCD will have these symptoms, and people who have religious OCD also may have different symptoms than the ones I have listed throughout the video. There have been hints of Ralsei having some sort of religious OCD coding throughout the entirety of Deltarune. Before I get started, I should probably explain what OCD is. OCD is an acronym for Obsessive Compulsive Disorder. To get a general understanding of this disorder, we should break it down into two parts, obsessions and compulsions. According to Mayo Clinic, OCD obsessions are lasting and unwanted thoughts that keep coming back, or urges or images that are intrusive and cause distress or anxiety. You may try to ignore them or get rid of them by acting based on ritual. These obsessions usually intrude when you are trying to think of or do other things. For Ralsei, these obsessions would come from or revolve around Deltarune's prophecy. Compulsions are repetitive behaviors that you feel driven to do. These repetitive behaviors or mental acts are meant to reduce anxiety related to your obsessions or prevent something bad from happening. But taking part in the compulsions brings no pleasure and may only offer limited time relief from anxiety. I believe that if Toby Fox intentionally characterized Ralsei with any form of OCD, it probably is religious OCD. This is due to the prophecy being a higher power in Deltarune, similar to how some religions see God as a higher power. Alright, enough yapping, let's get into the analysis. In Chapter 1, we are introduced to Ralsei. The first two things he does is introduce himself and ask to tell us and Susie about the prophecy. If he declines, he tells us, really? Are you sure? It's fairly important. And, in my opinion, it's a really nice prophecy. I think you'd quite like it. Then, if we say we already know it, he says, really? You've heard it already? Oh, perhaps I shouldn't have rehearsed it so much. According to deconstructingstigma.org, one common obsession of religious OCD is obsessing about scriptures, compulsively rereading them, parsing them for information, and worrying that one might have misunderstood them, and there will be consequences for having done so. I think this could align with how Ralsei views the prophecy and how he wants others to view it in a similar way. According to the International OCD Foundation, another obsession someone with religious OCD may have is the fear of going to hell or being punished by God. One compulsion that may arise from this obsession is treating attendance of religious services as obligatory when they are not actually so. This compulsion not only can affect the person with religious scrupulosity, but the family and friends of said person. This means that the person may find it obligatory for their family and friends to partake in religious services, so they don't obsess about them being punished by a higher power. I believe that Ralsei is experiencing something similar here. Even if we explicitly tell Ralsei we don't want to hear about the prophecy, he still keeps trying to tell Kris and Susie. Something that stems from this compulsion is Ralsei's repetitive action of placing roles from the prophecy onto others. His train of thought here could be, if everyone does everything they are supposed to do, here, then the prophecy will turn out alright. We are in fact able to see this several other times throughout the story. For example, in the Queen fight in Chapter 2, Ralsei says, "Queen, think of the Lightners. Aren't we supposed to make them happy?" Also, after the cave round fight in Chapter 1, Ralsei says, "Susie, whether you like it or not, you're a hero. One with the power to bring peace to the future. Could you please start acting like one?" And in Chapter 3, Ralsei says, "Darkners all become obsolete eventually, but we aren't real, Tenna. We shouldn't make Lightners worry about what happens to us. It'd just make them unhappy, wouldn't it?" Another obsession Ralsei has is the fear of the tragedy in the prophecy. Several other obsessions and compulsions stem from this fear. For instance, one obsession is the fear of loss of impulse control. In Chapter 5, Ralsei tells Flowery, "I could burn you down in an instant." But he doesn't, only because it would make everything worse. During Chapter 5, we also learn that Ralsei can use offensive fire magic. However, so far we have only seen him use it once, when defending Susie. I believe that in Ralsei's case, one compulsion that has shown up from the obsession of fear of loss of impulse control is limiting himself in what he can do combatively. Another obsession that may have stemmed from this is the fear of wronging others in a variety of ways, which is something Ralsei has shown since Chapter 1. A journey foretold exactly by the prophecy. This world is full of all kinds of people, Kris. In the end, how we treat them makes all the difference. So let's try our best to get by without fighting. If we can manage to do that, I believe this tale may have a happy ending. Otherwise, I fear that you might not find the result favorable. I think that here, Ralsei is obsessed with the prophecy so much that he believes that by not wronging others, he can divert the final tragedy. He may genuinely believe that if we are able to refrain from harming others, then the final tragedy won't happen. One final obsession that Ralsei could have is doubting what you truly believe or feel. Ralsei has told us over and over again that he believes that if the Funging is kind towards others, then we will be able to change or avert the final tragedy. Several times throughout Chapters 4 and 5, however, he has shown that he doubts this. It's getting harder and harder to just stand there smiling all the time, to be the one pretending I'm not afraid to. Please, please let it change. Please let everyone be alright. Please, have mercy on them. Have mercy on Susie. So, what are you up to? Praying? Of course. Every chance I get, I pray. You've got a kind and loving heart, Raleigh. Thanks. How much you think doing that helps? I have to believe. It's all I can do. You sure? Maybe you already have everything you need. Why not just put a little faith in yourself? Do you really have so little self-awareness? My faith is nothing like your arrogance. You have no way of defeating us, of defeating anyone. You know, if I let myself go like you, I could burn you down in an instant. But you haven't. Only because it would make everything worse. It's because you want to see if I can win, right? If I can stop you in 5A. No one can do the impossible. There are two mental compulsions I believe Ralsei is making here. 1. Trying to make pacts with God, or in this case, the prophecy. 2. Scanning for the level of faithfulness. My faith is nothing like your arrogance. Let's discuss what this means for Ralsei and the prophecy. Pause for a sec. Before we get into what this means for Ralsei, I want to remind you guys to like and subscribe. If I am able to get monetized before the fall, then I will be able to use YouTube money to help pay for my college, which means I will be able to keep on making videos without going into student debt. Also, leave a comment on how I can improve as a content creator. I appreciate any constructive criticism. Here's the bad news. I believe that if Ralsei is unable to get treatment or support, his OCD might start to intensify. This could not only impact himself, but others around him. If he does not get help, then there is a possibility that these compulsions could prevent him from stopping the final tragedy. Here's the good news. I believe that on the normal routes of Deltarune, Ralsei is already getting the help he needs through his friendship with both Kris and Susie. According to Deconstructing Stigma, one treatment for this type of OCD is exposure and response prevention therapy. This is where therapists will gradually encourage a patient to come into closer contact with situations the patient finds uncomfortable. Ralsei is getting exposure to things he is uncomfortable with throughout most of the Fun Gang's adventures. Because of this, I believe that in most routes, Ralsei will be able to take actions needed to avert the final tragedy. However, on the weird route, I think whatever the final tragedy is, will happen due to a lack of Kris, who is a big reason why Ralsei is getting exposure to things he is uncomfortable with. Before I end the video, I would like to thank Freezy for inspiring it. They made a pretty similar video a while back called Kris Dreemurr OCD Representation in Deltarune. It is a really good video, much better than mine, and I'd recommend that you all watch it. Thanks for watching. I'll probably make a video within the next month. See ya!